You are learning foreign language on your own but feel that you're doing it wrong? I was the same. But now, I don't feel like that because I analyzed over a dozen of videos about language learning and confidently can share with you 3 main principles of every language learning process and 2 bonus ones. So if you don't know, my name is Sanjar, I'm from Kazakhstan, and on this channel I'm sharing my journey of achieving native fluency in English from home on my own for free. And also these principles can be applied to almost any language because these advices are from polyglots. So let's start. By the way, when I'm speaking in this video, you may notice that I'm not actually fluent yet because this is my second video on this channel, and the purpose of my sharing of these videos is to show my progress of gradually improving my speech. So from beginning to I don't know how much videos I will post in future, this channel will be like a chronology of my English improvement. And now let's start with the content. And the first principle, the main principle without which you can't even think about acquiring any language, and which is doing a lot of input.
The first one is repetitive listening.
Number 1, listen a lot.
Another thing you can try is to oversaturate part of your day or do some long listening.
The most important thing when it comes to learning a language is getting input, or in other words, listening to and reading in that language.
And from videos that I analyzed, a lot of them are talking about this, doing a lot of input, like tons and tons of input. It includes reading, watching videos, movies, listening to podcasts, and etc. And maybe this advice, it will be obvious for you if you are already watching it, but sometimes people start losing confidence in what they are doing. For example, if you are a beginner learning new language and you don't see much progress, they tend to think that, oh, maybe I'm doing something wrong. I need to watch another video about how to acquire language. And then, it will say again, and all those videos will say again, do a lot of input. So if you're not, like for example, if you go to speak fluently in English or any other language, my channel, or this channel is specifically about getting fluent, like a native in English. And if you, for example, spend 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, and you still don't feel like that you see that your speech is not like fluent yet, it doesn't mean that you totally doing it wrong. And just remember that input is a very important thing. Doing input is the basis of everything. If the more input you have, the more data in your brain you will have to actually answer to something, to say, to output. So in your native language, even you spend years to listening. To become fluent in another language, you also will need to devote some time before you will start speaking smoothly, before words will flow from your mouth like if you were born in that target language that you are trying to learn. And to get more specific about this part of input, if you're already watching and listening to content, reading to content in your target language for a while, you can try to change things, start watching videos on speed 1.25, 1.5, or even a 2x speed. So you train your ears to listening more faster language, for example, because sometimes native speakers can speak really fast. They tend to reduce a lot of sounds and like Eminem.
I'll give it a shot. I haven't done it in a while here, so let's see. Freddie, the question situation you number challenge you want to the calibers just indicated by the presence of pool table in your community will get you.
It will be good training because for real life situations. And if you're watching our content, movies, videos with subtitles, I recommend to start just switching off subtitles and start watching videos first without subtitles and then rewatch them again with closed captions or subtitles. Another special tip from myself: if you are learning language and watching out of movies, series, well, don't deceive yourself, don't lie to yourself by watching battle scenes, battle actions where well, 70% of the movie is just like action, and 30% of them are dialogues. And then like don't spend entire days like that, because those movies, they usually use very simple language and short sentences, and of course it can be helpful, but don't expect that you will get super fluent or very fluent from that. You have to do a variety of your input. Now, next point, and it is comprehensible input. Yeah, Steven Krashen.
We acquire language in one way and only one way, when we understand messages. We call this comprehensible input.
In simple words, if you are trying to understanding language by context. For example, there's a sentence with 6 words, and the 5 of them you already know. And with the assistance of those 5 words, you are trying to understand what means the 6th word in that sentence. So, naturally, you are understanding what it means, and that's how you're learning the language itself. That's how Steven Krashen explains it. Yes, and this advice is quite actually true, because, as I said, I'm from Kazakhstan, and in Kazakhstan we don't speak English. We speak mostly in Kazakh or Russian. In Kazakh or Russian, yeah, 2 languages, 2 main languages. And so, okay, next advice from another video. It's focus on getting the meaning first.
The second action is you get the meaning first, even before you get the words. And you go, well, how do I do that? I don't know the words. Well, you understand what these different postures mean.
In other words, if you are trying to understand that what are characters saying to each other in dialogues in those movies, what the book's paragraphs are describing, and when you're reading them, in other words, you feel that you understand what they mean, but you can't explain it to another person. That's it. And third sub-advice in this section is direct connect. It means learning vocabulary by mental images, not from translations. If you are stumbling upon a new word, for example, cane, English word, yeah, and instead of translating it to your native language, try to get the image of that word. So write, for example, in Google, cane, image, and then when it will output image to you, then you'll see, this thing is a cane, like a metal pipe or wooden stick that elderly people use for assisting them to walk. That's it for the input part. And now, second advice, start living in your target language.
What I'm trying to say here is that I switched my way of living as if I was living in an English-speaking country.
In my case, it's English. So, well, it basically means that you're changing your device's language, settings language into a language that you are learning. Actually, yeah, it's simple. Maybe you already did it. Try to maximize it. Change everything in your YouTube, in your social media, in your phone and the computer, everything to your target language. In my case, it's English, and it can seem quite simple but still useful. And now advice number 3. It's actually related to speech itself, like speaking part.
About the importance of embracing your inner child. And connected to that, I think that it's also important for you to be okay with speaking like a child, at least at first.
And most people, they have a problem with speaking, because when they speak, it's in another language that they are learning, it usually sounds awkward, yeah, like a children's speech, like a little baby speech. And of course, if you are adult and speaking like a baby, it will make you look like a fool, and nobody wants to look like fools. That's why people struggle with that, like ego, their pride in themselves are preventing them from improving. Okay. Basically, what this advice means, it's actually just don't overcomplicate. Be okay with speaking like a baby. When I started learning English, it was so awkward. I kept recording monologues of myself, how I'm speaking in English in front of in front of camera, and I was publishing them in my secret YouTube channel. Just look at how I was speaking 1 year ago. Okay, so today is day 1, my self-talking monologue. Well, what about these videos? It's just my thoughts. As you see, there's a lot of pauses, maybe a lot of awkward moments. Yeah, maybe it's my personal advice. Try to record every day yourself, your speech, and it will be like your transformation chronology of how you are improving. Even if you sound totally awkward, even if you are thinking entire minute to actually come up with a sentence, just record those videos. And after 1 year, if you are learning language right now consistently, you will be amazed at how much difference it actually you already have. It brings joy to you. You know, you'll be. When I was starting, you can. I didn't even think that right now I will be speaking like that. Yeah, of course, it's far from perfect, but still. Okay, I spoke too much. So next, bonus time, bonus tip number 1. This one is specifically for English. It's about strategies of learning language. There are 2 strategies for English: ESO and EFO. ESO is English as second language. EFO is English as first language. And after of the video explained that people who are learning English as second language, they usually do it. How they do it? They try to memorize as much vocabulary as they can. For example, 1,000 words, yeah, or 100 words every day, or 10 words, something like that, like, or 50. Like, I will, and then they just look at the definition of the word and meet them in one context, in one sentence, and that's it, and move to the next word, and like that, and like that. So ESO studies vocabulary in a very wide but a shallow manner, like a little lake. And EFO is what it do. It actually studies vocabulary, maybe in much smaller pace, well, like a slower pace, yeah, in smaller numbers, but still in a deep way, because it's getting one. EFO's definition is to get one word, for example, harsh, and then get various definitions from various situations, contexts, as much as you can, and get them all, look through them, analyze them, look again, and then, okay, I know that harsh can be used for weather, harsh can be used for person's character, harsh can be used for item, some very rude, okay, some for example, stone or something else like that. And as you're getting as much definitions that this word can be used for different situations as you can. So you will be not surprised to when you see this word in the context that you have never seen, because you know that this word can be used in these situations, in this situation, in this situation. That's it. And yeah, it will be much slower. You maybe in one day you learn 5-10 words, yeah. In 1 month it will be 300 words. Boy. And English language has 179,000 words in the dictionary, but still people are English speakers, native English speakers themselves are not using that much vocabulary in everyday life. In everyday life, usually it's around 3,000-5,000 words. So don't worry about that much. 90% will be 90% of dialogues of everyday speech will be those 5,000 words. Okay. And what are benefits of the EFO strategies is that even if you know much less vocabulary, you are able to connect those words together and into sentences. You have more potential to do that than if you are studying English as a second language, ESO. Because one adult can know who's learning English can know 1,000 words, but a child who is born in America and English is his first language, and he only knew 100 words, he still can be able to construct those sentences, craft sentences in more flexible way and more naturally, fluently, and speak them because he knows definitions from various situations. He's living in that context, and parents around him or other friends, other people are talking to him, and he's hearing constantly, getting this input of the same word every day. But sometimes it's like that, sometimes it's different. That's it. So it was very valuable advice, and that's why after analyzing that video, I actually reconsidered my decision about getting as much vocabulary, and I also started to looking up for words and getting actually every definition, every meaning, every synonyms of those new words that I'm learning. So I will be able to use them in even in situations that I have never seen them. I hope you understood what I mean. And also that in that video, this gentleman, he said that
the thing that's really stopping people from communicating, it's not their vocabulary. Again, you might have like a child that knows 100 words and an adult that knows 1,000 words, but the better communicator will be the one who knows that vocabulary really well.
That gentleman suggested to actually get a lot of input first. Like 1,000 hours, 2,000, 3,000, okay, maybe that's too much, but still, getting a lot of input first, and only then start speaking, like practicing speech. And in terms of fluency, he didn't say that about pronunciation, he means about ability of constructing sentences themselves. But still, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't even speak at all in your language. You can do that from 5 minutes to 1 hour. It doesn't hurt you. Just don't go too extreme. And now bonus tip number 2, and it's from Matt. He spent 5 years in learning Japanese. And now about the flashcards, you're probably wondering, hey, what about flashcards? How I'm supposed to learn vocabulary? In that 1 hour long video, Matt actually said about the flashcards, and you can use flashcards in that, like that. For example, you're watching content, let's say movie. You stumble upon new words that you don't know, and you're taking them into flashcards, and as I said before, taking every definition from them and every synonym from them. You can, if you're learning English, I use this website which called dictionary.com. It's very useful. It shows every definition as an adjective, noun of the word, and then it also has a thesaurus.com which shows every synonyms of that word. So it's very convenient, and then you just copy them and put into your flashcards whatever you're using, Anki, another app, and after you watch the movie and you got all those new words into your flashcards, revising those flashcards, and you can rewatch the movie again and to see if you are able to understand everything that they are saying without even stopping to think, like, hey, wait, what that word means? I know, I studied it, I memorized it, something like that. Second golden nugget from Matt.
That's kind of my subjective interpretation of how the process of learning a language through input works. You build the machinery by going from language to meaning, and then you can use the same machinery, like run in reverse, to go from meaning to output.
If you have done enough input, for example 1,000 hours or so in your target language, till the point that you can easily understand what the people are saying in those content videos or books, then it will be much easier for you to actually speak when you start to speak. That's actually how the Matt himself started to speak Japanese. He spent around 3 years for just input, and only after that he started speaking. So it's not. And also he said that this actually helped him because he was not speaking like a little child, little baby, thanks to a lot of time he spent for input. And the reason why a lot of those people are talking about the importance of input, and which I also agree with, because if you have deep understanding of what you had listened, watched, read, then it will be really much easier for you to speak. Because, like, for example, 2 plus 2 equals 4, like, equals 4, like, easy, right? Because you really deeply understand how it works. And just like that is with the language. You know every word's meaning. You can connect them into chain and speak it and output it. I will give you example. Look at this scene in this cartoon.
Where's my cane? I just had it here.
Like cane. He said, where's my cane? And then this bird is throwing up the cane. So this is clearly cane. Now you know that this thing is cane. Or for example, look at this.
Oh, are you okay?
What? Why am I so sweaty?
Why are you so sweaty?
Well, he said, why I'm sweating? And then she asked him, why you are so sweating? So now you know that this process of drips coming out of the skin of the man, or skin, yeah, it's called sweating. You remembered it because you have some associations with it. And if you stumble like that across more and more times with this word in different contexts, your variations, you like clearly have a total confidence of and understanding of these phrases or words, and so for you it will be much easier to actually use them when you need to. And now, after all of this, as you can see, language learning is actually pretty simple. Language learning can be very easy and hard at the same time. Easy because things that you have to do is pretty simple, yeah. But hard is because you have to spend a lot of time to reach some fluency. If you want to reach some fluency, you maybe need to spend years, because even in English, maybe some people will say that English is very easy language, but still, I don't believe that you can get into native like fluency in 6 months or 9 years or 9 months, something like that. Probably in 1 year and 2 years, maybe 3 years, yeah, to reach that level actually, because there's so much words and phrases that exist in English. So, and that's it. So for remembrance of what I was said in this video, just remember this: every language process consists from 3 main things: having a lot of input, deep understanding of that input, and only then trying to speak, output. And that's it. Inshallah, see you in the next videos. If you're learning language on your own from home, we're together, yeah. Goodbye.